Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas
Good
noches.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where on the globe you are joining us today. And welcome to this technical day of Alimentaria Foodtech in 2023. Indeed, Alimentaria Foodtech is back after this mandatory pandemic break, stronger than ever. Before we begin, for those of you who may not know about Alimentaria Foodtech, or perhaps do not know enough about it, let me give you some insights to help you contextualize. Since 1984, Alimentaria Foodtech has been the benchmark event, we could say, for equipment, technology, and ingredients that integrates the entire value chain of food and beverage production and preservation. With a strong transversal character, the event serves the food and beverage production industry, from raw materials to commercial distribution, including all solutions in areas such as processing, ingredients, label packaging, Industry 4.0, of course, food safety or refrigeration, industrial and auxiliary services, handling, storage and logistics, and as a novelty of this edition, the Smart Agro. Naturally, it also addresses all processes, which is food processing, ingredients, food packaging, Industry 4.0 also, and food safety, as well as all subsectors of the industry, meat, liquids, fruits and vegetables, seafood, bakery, canned food, or snacks. Furthermore, Alimentaria Foodtech should not forget that it is also undoubtedly the meeting point of innovation for the most important companies in the sector. The small and medium enterprises, exhibitors, national and international visitors. And in addition, this 2023 edition is presented in a very particular way with some proposals within the framework of this innovative character that we say that seek to further strengthen, if possible, this competitive, disruptive, innovative character, such as, for example, could be the Innova Awards, the Emprende Awards, Ingrenova, where intermediate food products will be the protagonists at the level of congresses, for example, the Biofilm Summit, also of great notoriety and relevance that we undoubtedly have, or naturally, and we could not forget the Foodtech Innovation Hub and Novarena. All these as a whole, and ultimately to configure for you an even more powerful value proposition, if possible, which is already saying something. Because if, for example, we review some figures from 2018, we can see how already back then, well up to 98% of visitors considered that the fair was representative of the sector, up to 97% expressed their satisfaction and 83% recommended. So, having said that, and closing this small parenthesis of presentation and contextualization of the event, let's go a little bit to the crux of the matter, which in the end is still the technical conference and those to whom we want to give voice that ultimately are together with you, along with visitors, the elements, the most important actors of this Alimentaria Foodtech. I am referring, of course, to those companies that will be here in Barcelona from September 26 to 29, presenting the most innovative and disruptive solutions of the sector. So now entering, well, how it will be the dynamic, how we will accompany you throughout the following minutes, because basically we will have 4 luxury guests, 4 companies. There are a small sample of the entire value proposition that we'll have in September here in Alimentaria Foodtech. A small sample that will present with great dynamism, and in order to make it very enjoyable, well, a small presentation, of course, who they are, what they do, and a cases of success, a real case study that perhaps, well, you can be reflected in some of them. Each of these interventions, in order to give it that touch, that international aspect, which the event wants to enhance even more that it was already doing, we will have the participation of some of the main international delegates that we have, who will ask our guest companies some of the most relevant questions at international level and in their respective countries for the food industry sector. So, if you like, let's get started, and without further ado, let's give the floor to our first guest today. So we start with our first company today. We start with CSB SYSTEM and Eric Del Sams. Welcome, Eric. Thank you very much for being here with us today. Eric is an industrial electronics engineer and a consultant for automation and digitization. So tell us, Eric, what do you do at CSB SYSTEM, and what is the case that you are going to talk to us about here today?
So, well, first of all, I would like to thank the AMEC team for the session today. My name is Eric Del Sams. I am also an industrial electrical engineer and also the consultant for digitalization and automation for Spain and Latin America. I have been working in this position for more than 6 years. CSB Systems is a multinational family business grounded in Germany, from which we develop comprehensive ERP software solutions for the food, chemical, pharma and cosmetic industries. The company has been founded over 45 years ago by the current president of the honor board, Dr. Schmitzek. Despite it is the second generation of the company, the one running the business, starting with the CEO, Sarah Vanessa Kroner. So currently, CSB System solutions are implemented in over 1,200 facilities in over 45 countries. So that's the reason why we have this system translated in more than 30 languages. And we have to say that CSB Systems does not use any third parties to distribute their products, but they use their local 45 branches in order to distribute, implement and maintain software. In order to give a wider overview to the session today and the case we want to introduce to you, so first let's check the mother program behind this project, what we call Factory ERP. This is an ERP software solution in order to manage all the different plant systems in the industry. So this solution, Factory ERP, is easily integrated using standard interfaces, in this case a group ERP for administration. We understand it as an administrative ERP where we can analyze accountancy and finance. However, CSB System has also a comprehensive tool, separate tool with a module for accountancy and finance, but in case our clients feel already comfortable working in their own horizontal and consolidated ERP, we can get integrated in it. So our application supports the integration with other ERPs and also the integration with other partners or producers, especially for industrial equipment such as machinery and electronic appliances, PLCs, RFID tags, etc. That's the reason why the session today we want to focus in how, using the automation and the integration of all technologies under the same software solution, we have the chance and the capability to control everything that is going on in real time in our industry. And the success case we want to introduce today has to do with the Dutch company Promisa. Promisa is a company dealing mainly with the production and commercialization of food products, meat products, and it has over 400 products that are distributed to more than 1,000 supermarkets over 6 days a week. Well, so in order to set the stage here, in the growing line of this company, they have been observing a need to find in the market some tool in order to digitalize different processes in plant, because they thought they had breaches in terms of monitoring of processes, data, and work orders, and so on. So this, along with their need of a wider space because they were not rightly distributed, made them go to search to start up this project where they were looking for a combined solution between software from CSB SYSTEM and the hardware we're going to explain ahead. So the project, in essence, was divided into big targets. First, digitalization, everything that has to do with the internal processes of the plant using the CSB SYSTEM solution, and then some other targets that have to do with the MFS or the material flow system. Among those targets, for instance, was a better compliance with the expectations of the retail market of the country, have a better positioning against competitors, improve the internal logistics of the plant in order to reduce the preparation times of their products and also costs. Also have in their products an elevated rotation, meaning less losses in terms of lifetime span of the products. And then this is very important when working with fresh products, so they try to improve this area. So apart from these two big targets they have established, they knew that they could not miss the traceability flow anywhere along the process. So that's the reason why they look for a solution that allows to integrate real-time both the software by CSB with all the different storerooms, automated storerooms we are going to see ahead. So apart from the solution we provide for the overall project, apart from digitalizing the plant processes under the same software solution, nowadays the system and all the different automated storerooms, along with the tagging lines, are integrated in CSB SYSTEM. My apologies, it is the next slide, right? So as I said, nowadays all the internal logistics system is integrated real-time with the CSB SYSTEM application by means of software. That means that in order to know what are the automated storage appliances they have bought, the project is made of 3 automated storerooms. One of these storerooms is a storeroom for merchandise with a high rotation and is also equipped with a gate crane. The second storeroom is a storeroom for low rotation products, so in low volumes, meaning the classical storage, chaotic with lots of shelves and one single location. So in between these 2 storerooms, they can fit all the products that will be entering into the 4 tagging lines and price tagging of Spera brand. By the way, in the Foodtech edition in our own stand, we will have this assembly line for tagging, so you can see real-time how this works. And as I said, we have the 4 tagging lines for Spera, and then those products already tagged will carry on along the line onto the 4 sorters. Besides, in this project we have applied what we call merchandise-to-man technology. So these sorters or classifiers are separating trays depending on the work order they are processing. Well, and now I want to go more into detail regarding the tagging assembly lines and the communication and the management between the different hardware partners involved in this project. So first of all, I must say that one of the advantages that the operator has that is working or dealing with this machinery system is that she doesn't need to learn to work with different user interfaces, because all the management of the different processes, the communication with the assembly lines and the automated storerooms are done from CSB systems. So the user has only one application from CSB system in which he can interact with the assembly line or with the storeroom in a frictionless way. So he can start the line, stop the line, and so on. Also, the operator can see the work order he's dealing with from the tagging line, what are the trays he needs to produce, how many boxes he needs. Also, all this productivity is real time, so from any spot along the plant we can monitor the progress of a work order in production, and also that for this project we have designed a technology in which in one single step we can perform two different actions. So from the moment we are tagging for the final client, all these different trays are identified, but they are also linked to the picking order for this client. So for this reason, later on we don't need an additional process to scan all the different tags. I want now to go from the theoretical part to the practical side to show the outcome of the project back in the day. So this is the exit of the production line, and as you can see, we identify the trays or the baskets and not the boxes by means of RFID, and then they go on to the storerooms we have already mentioned. This is the one with high rotation with a big volume of products that is automated and is managed by means of the gate crane. And now we will see storage room number 2, that is the traditional and chaotic store. And these two are the buffers that allows the product to enter into the tagging line, where the operator is checking the work order he's working on. The 4 tagging lines are the ones feeding the 4 sorters, so we are using this merchandise-to-man technology I have mentioned, and then automatically when the basket is completed it goes on to the central line. So this merchandise goes on to the latest storeroom, where a robot also using this gate crane makes the stacking of the different columns for the final delivery to the client. So all in all, the project, thanks to the technology of CSB systems along with some other hardware products, facilitated to this client having faster reaction times. In fact, you can place an order in the morning, and even if it's one single unit, this is going to be delivered the same day. Besides, in this project, we have included the chance to perform production along with picking, because we also have this 2-in-1 technology. Apart from this, all the business processes much more optimized, balanced, and even transparent, and this also provides a greater reliability to the final consumer. So in the end, this is a project we feel so proud of.
So, well, thank you very much, Eric, for this very interesting case, this international success story, which this time has taken us to the Netherlands. What do you think if we continue a little bit with this world tour and we go a little bit further? We go to Turkey, to Istanbul, where our delegate, as we promised you before, we would do this little world tour in the form of questions to our company. So from there we have Ali Kamesoglu, our delegate, who I think has a question for you. Good morning, Ali. How are you?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ali Kave from Istanbul, and I wish you a successful session today. So my question goes for Eric Delsems from CSB Systems. So my question has to do with, from the point of view of medium-sized and larger business, in the food industry, do you have capability to provide consulting services and support in digitalization and automation for businesses? Many thanks, and I wish you a very good afternoon. Well, as CSB System is a multinational company based in 5 different continents, we can provide consulting, maintenance, and implementation services in Turkey also. Despite not having a branch of our own in Turkey, we can work from other branches, such as CSB in Bulgaria. So yes, we can certainly do that.
Thank you very much, Eric, for being here with us today for this very interesting case that you have presented to us. And the question that we received from Turkey is also resolved. If you wish, we will continue with our round with the companies we have here with us today. And now we make the leap to the virtual world. We leave the sets and go to HIPERBARIC, where we have Marta Onrubia. Good morning, Marta. How are you?
Yes, good morning.
Marta is sales manager of HPP business. So tell us, Marta, what you do in HIPERBARIC and what case you are going to talk about today.
Many thanks, Jordi, for this presentation. So I have a presentation in order to introduce the latest advancements in automation for high-pressure processing equipment, and we are going to present a case from one of our clients in the United States that is called Evolution Fresh. So, to set this scene a little bit, so in order you to know who are we, so we are a company founded in 1999 from our research and development project in order to develop high-pressure processing technology for the food industry. We are based in Burgos, where we have facilities of 30,000 square meters, and we have also 4 commercial branches all around the world: United States, Mexico, Singapore, and Oceania. Currently, we are the world leaders with a 60% of market share, more than 350 equipment installed in 50 countries, more than 20 years experience. Last year we had a turnover over 62 million euros. Our manpower is made of 140 people, and we currently invest 5% of our turnaround in research, development, and innovation. So what is the high-pressure processing technology? Well, this is food processing in cold. It is a non-thermal system for the preservation of food and drink that spans lifespan, preserving all the different characteristics of the products, fresh, and guaranteeing food security. When we talk about high pressure, we talk about 6,000 psi. As we do not apply heat, we also preserve the organoleptic properties, as in fresh products, and some of the products we apply this technology on will be juices and drinks, meat products, fish products, sauces and dips, and in some also in some pre-cooked products. So what is the challenge we face using our current machinery? Well, this is a post-process, so it entails a big volume of manpower for loading and unloading the machine. So the product has to be already packed, and once packed, we put it into the blue containers we can see on a screen, and they go into the machine, so they are like transport means for the process. All this process is very manual. Therefore, how HIPERBARIC is facing this challenge. So basically what we do here is provide customized solutions for the automation of this equipment. So these solutions of these services entail automation and manipulation of materials, and also Industry 4.0, which is the highest demand from our clients towards us. In order to provide this, we provide auxiliary and peripheral equipment for handling. We also automatize the loading and unloading by means of robots. We also develop conveyor belts and systems for the picking and placing of the products, and we design lines for the automation of this process. And now, going deeper into the success case, I'm going to give the context of Evolution Fresh. So, as I said before, it is an American-based company. They are the juice providers for Starbucks, for all Starbucks in the United States and Canada. They have 12 years experience working with high pressure. They have 420 hyperbaric machines producing 3,800 liters per hour, and because they needed to improve efficiency, ergonomy, and the requirements of social distancing, the company decided to enter in a new partnership with HIPERBARIC in order to install automation solutions for the load and unload of bottles in the HPP containers. Those blue ones we have seen before that are entering the products into our machinery. So in this case, in the case of Evolution, this development has been done into different stages. The first one started back in 2015, where we automate the entering of the product into the machinery. So we added loaded stations and feeding stations, and then in the second stage, starting later after COVID, because they wanted to keep on automating the whole line. So it started in 2022, so we automated the exit of the machinery, incorporating unload stations and systems for the picking of the bottles and placing of the bottles. What are the advantages or benefits of automating their 5 machines? Well, basically, they have raised the global efficiency in 15%. They reduce the injury rate in over 90% because they have removed 7,250 kilos of load per person per day. Also, product handling times were reduced in over 50%. And then they reduce the manpower needed in 50%. So before automation, they had 19 operators, and after automation, they were able to work only with 9 operators. So now I'm going to play a video summarizing this success case. Well, so this was a bit the summary of the peripheral and the machines we have installed there at Evolution. They partnered with HIPERBARIC for automation because they had references from us, what we did with high-pressure machinery, and they were so happy, and the feedback from the plant director Mike Turbin were really positive regarding HIPERBARIC. So this is all on my side. Thanks a lot.
So thank you very much, Marta, for this explanation of HIPERBARIC, for this case study from Burgos to the United States. So if you like, now we go to our neighbors, we go to Mexico, because there our delegate, Juan Alberto, has a question for you, for HIPERBARIC. So good morning, Juan Alberto, how are you?
¿Cómo estás? ¿Nos escuchas?
Gracias, Marta. Gracias, Alex.
Hello, thanks, Marta. Thanks, Alex, and good morning from Mexico. So, two of the topics that are more interesting for the food industry businesses in Mexico are technologies related to expanding lifespan of products and therefore having less spillage, and then technologies related to supply chain that helps to transparency, traceability, to comply with health acts, and also to enhance the quality of the end products. So, what can you tell us about this? Well, first of all, it is true. Mexico is a country that is very aware about food preservation, and for us this represents a very important geographical area, especially for avocados, because the avocado producers there, they trust our machines in order to provide safe and sound products. In the case of avocado and tropical fruits, high pressure allows to extend lifespan of products up to 90 days, maintaining the freshness and all the flavor, and in a way also try to add a greater value to those products that in principle will not allow to be entering the country due to their shape or color. We can transform those into a byproduct and use this technology in order to provide a safe and sound product for our consumers. And not only the high pressure is used for avocado in Mexico and of course in the rest of the world, but also in some other products such as the meat food products, fish food products, uses, as I have explained during my presentation. And also another novelty we can mention, it is food products for child nutrition and also for pet nutrition as new sectors where they are using our technology. And then regarding traceability and transparency, we are including in our blue containers that you have seen in my video data matrix codes and RFID tags in order to trace, to make a follow-up of production and assure the reliability and traceability, ensuring that the high-pressure processing provides the highest transparency in order to know in which stage is this product or this batch. And these are about the novelties we are including recently.
Perfect. So we have answered these two questions that Juan Alberto sent us from Mexico. So thank you very much, Marta, for being here with us. And well, see you in September.
Sure thing. Thanks a lot. See you in September. Bye.
And so we return to the face-to-face world. We return to the set because we have here with us Albert Pujan, CEO of the company MIMASA. Good morning, Alberto. Welcome and thank you very much for being here with us today. So tell us, Albert, what do you do in MIMASA and what case you are going to talk about?
Hello and good morning, and thanks a lot for inviting us. MIMASA is a company that builds machinery and also cleaning and drying systems, mainly for the food industry. We also build machinery for the cleaning of boxes, containers, structures, and we think it is relevant to explain a success case that has to do with one of the concerns of the food industry all around the world, which is the management of tags residues that are left on the boxes, those tags that are used to identify batches, and those tags need to be removed. And we believe this is a good opportunity to explain what we do. So if you want me to, I can start over with the presentation. So to set the context of what we did before in MIMASA, so we're a company that started in the industry 35 years ago. We have more than 2,500 facilities all around the world. We process more than 3 million boxes per day that we clean with our machines. We export 70% of our turnover, and we have 75 people working in our Bañolas plant. We have recently opened a branch in the United States, including a technical team and a sales team, and we want to keep on going further internationally. As you can see, these are the typical boxes that we clean with our machinery, boxes of every type, pallets, trays, mainly for the food industry. Also, we have the cutter trolleys that are so well known in the meat industry, the containers that are used for fruits, and also in the meat industry. And we have different solutions, tunnels, cabinets for the cleaning of these items, and are being set up depending on the needs of every case per client. So we have lots of cases. So one of the rules we have in MIMASA is that it's not possible to build up two machines that are the same, because they are very alike, but then we need to, to do adjustments in order to satisfy the needs of our clients. And then we have another line. Now we are talking about a larger line, so 10,000 units per hour, 350 units per hour for high production, especially for companies dealing with logistics and the different handling of transport items. And then some other examples. These items we have already cleaned, so the before and after. One of the big concerns we have, and our machines has an added value here, it is reutilizing water. When we clean using an automated line and well-designed, we reduce dramatically the consumption of water, power, and detergent. We also achieve that the quality of this cleaning is maintained from the beginning of Monday morning until the very end of Friday afternoon. So the quality depends on the time of the day, and this, along with the reduced consumptions we achieve, this cannot be compared to manual handle processes. So from the very beginning, our concern was reducing consumption. And in this specific case of removal of residues from tags, in this case it was a meat business receiving boxes from its provider, container-ready tags, and they also supplied boxes to their clients with added tags, and those boxes were returned. So this created several problems. So for instance, false identifications, because that tag in the end identifies the box, and if this tag comes from a previous batch, when it's added to the system, can generate these errors for detection. And it eventually, not in the case of this client, but there were clients that needed to stop production because they had these perished batch in the storeroom, and it was not the batch, it was only the tag that came from a previous batch. So the other concern for the client is that in order to remove those, they were using manual processes at a high cost. And with little added value, the water consumption, a person using a pressure hose in order to remove these tags was so high, and also the image they providing those boxes with residues of previous tags to their clients, really was not reliable. So what we developed was a system with 4 axes. First, high-pressure water jet system, then a rotor panel system that allows that this pressure is kept from the water jet pump until the projection against the tank, a filtering system so the water can be reused within the same washing machine and within the same pump, so the pressure pumps are very delicate in terms of filtering. So if we do not do it in the right way, we cannot use this pump. So we needed to have a correct filtration of water, so the pump can reuse the water hours and hours. So this was the second part of the problem, that the boxes were really soaked. So we built up this centrifuge system that collect water, and we managed in a way that without diluting the concentration of detergent in the cleaning cycle, we could better reuse this water. So the results we obtained, apart from this beautiful box without tags, that was our main target with this project. We also avoided false detection, and we also reduced the water consumption in 95%. So this is a very high number, but if you can imagine a person handling a hose that is using 20 to 50 liters per minute, whether we remove the hose, so or if not, the consumption will be so big. So thanks to this, it was not necessary anymore that role of a person removing manually those tags. And here I have a homemade video of some tests we made. This really shows my point. So here we have a line handling 1,000 to 1,500 boxes per hour now. We are working with newer lines capable of dealing with 3,000 boxes per hour. Also, this one was for paper tags, and now we are working with one removing plastic tags, which is much more challenging, but we are dealing with it. And for me it was very interesting, because practically all food industries use tags, and whether in boxes or in containers, and being able to reduce or remove them, it is something that sometimes we thought it was impossible, and there were some sectors that accepted those tags to be carried on. So it is possible to remove them in an efficient way, reducing the water and power consumption. So it is a matter of having the right focus for the project. And even here, we could only see the tag in one spot, but it could be anywhere around the box and it will be removed the same. And this was the success case I wanted to share with you.
Very interesting, Albert. Thank you very much for this detailed explanation. What you do in MIMASA, that machinery is never the same, isn't it? Well, you have no two alikes, as you said, in this case of success. So if you think we can go on a trip, we take the leap. We are still in Latin America, but now we are going from Mexico to Colombia, to Bogota, where Claudia Angélica Ruiz, our delegate, has a question for you.
Buenos días, Claudia Angélica, ¿cómo estás? ¿Nos escuchas?
Hello, good morning, Alex and Albert. So our question is this one. Because of market reasons, but also because our government has prioritized climate action, the Colombian businesses and industry are looking for technological alternatives that allow them to be more sustainable, reduce the carbon footprint, and also adopt circular economy models without diminishing profitability, competitive edge, and productivity. So, in this sense, we would like to know what is the offer you can provide to our market, from small to medium to large companies, in order to comply with these targets. Greetings from Bogota. So this is a very interesting question, and we like it very much because this makes us think about the future path of the food industries. So we need to close the gap and we are using it, but still we have a long way to go in order to use returnable packaging within the same industry. So one thing is what we provide to the final consumer, but when we exchange products within producers, clients, and we take it in trays, in baskets, in trolleys, we can reuse this only if we close the gap, and this involves a level of hygiene very high, and we are going to reduce the consumptions we generate in number of plastics. What else? So the automated washing machinery allows not only to reduce consumptions of power, detergent and water in the washing cycle, but also guarantee the result. And this is key because we need to keep on guaranteeing food safety. So any item coming from the outside to our plant needs to be clean and disinfected with guarantees. So the machine allows us to trace this hygiene, this food safety, and then validate the cleaning process every single time. So if I've been cleaning some containers for an hour, I can record in which conditions they were cleaned and or disinfected, and I can even know if I have complied the different hygiene specifications. If we don't have this traceability, we call it the lost link of reutilization, because if I do not close the gap having a guarantee, in the very end I am adding a problem to the production chain. So our role here is to make the machines we install to close this gap.
Well, interesting question and interesting answer, Albert. Thank you very much for everything, for being with us today, and see you in September at Alimentaria Foodtech.
Yes, we are waiting for you there. Thanks.
And now, yes, let's close this round with our 4 guests today, who have made up this small sample of all the solutions and much more that can be found in this new edition of Alimentaria Foodtech in September. For that, to close this round, we already have here David Maldonado. David Maldonado is the CEO of the company Weber. Good morning, David. Thank you for being here with us today. Tell us what you do in Weber and what case you come to talk to us about here today.
Yes, indeed. So Weber is a reference company in the slice sector. We have more than 40 years of experience in this industry, and we are everywhere around the world. I would say that our main target is to make it easier for our clients, and flexibility is one of our main qualities. We like to listen. We try to understand needs of our clients, and we also like to find common solutions or joint solutions. Our first 3 pillars are innovation, quality, and being close to our clients. We know that the market is evolving and the needs as well, so we have adapted also to the current needs of the market. Weber has also been known as a specialist in slice solutions, but in the recent years, we have made important investments in newer technologies in order to comply with the newest presentations of current applications in packaging, in automation, end-of-the-line packaging, product preparation before slicing, and digitalization. Investments that make us tell us apart from other competitors in the business. And one example of what I said, that we are flexible and we like to listen to the needs of our clients, is this line that you can see on the screen, and that we have recently installed in one of the main meat businesses in Spain. This group contacted us because they wanted to make businesses again and buy a new line for the slicing of Serrano ham. And this is one more line, but one of the main problems we have nowadays in Spain and also in the rest of the world is the rise of the prices of the raw materials, making us to be much more efficient in our lines, to reduce costs in order to remain competitive in the market. So what we proposed to this client was something very innovative in the business. And this was being able to slice two ham pieces at the same time. And this is something different because everybody slices one ham piece. So one of the main issues when you slice ham pieces is that you always provide an added weight, what we call the overweight, because if we go under the weight, you can face a fine. So if the company is giving away product, they are losing money. So what we did was building up this line made of a scanner, made of a slicer, then an automatic discharge and a packaging, and then the selection of different packages at the end of the line, and this made the line much more efficient. But we had an additional problem, and this client, one of the main products they provide is what is known as folding or folded ham. So it is possible to do with one ham piece, but working with two, it was more difficult. So we work in the solution, and these are the results. So perfect presentations that up to date nobody else can provide. And another very interesting fact is what you can see here on the screen. This is a new technology that is called as Foodtech or oil spray. And what is it for? Well, given the current situation, what we seek is to reduce waste, and what we want here is to reduce this plastic in between the ham slices for something that allows to separate one slice from the other without plastic. So with spray of oil, we impregnate a very fine surface between each slice, and we remove the plastic. And apart from removing the plastic, we also provide additional flavor to the slice, and depending on the type of oil, you could also expand the lifespan of the product.
Perfect, so clear and concise. Thank you very much, David, for the presentation of what you do at Weber and for this national success story. So, do you think we should now take the leap, cross the Atlantic and go to United States? It seems to me that our delegate there, Marta Andreu, has just one question for you. So, good morning, Marta. How are you?
Hello. Good morning, David and Alex. So, first of all, I congratulate you for this session and for these success cases so interesting you are provided to us. Here in the United States, the European developers of machinery for the food industry are really appraised, and their technology and quality is very valued, especially the flexibility in order to get adapted to the different needs of the American producers. But the post-sale service and the technical services, and when they are going to receive the parts they need, are the main concerns of these American companies. Could you please explain us how do you have tackled this problem? Well, actually, back from 2007, we have in Kansas City a Weber branch where we have opened up a technological center from which we can provide line demonstrations, product demonstrations. We have spare parts services, technical assistance services, a training center, and from there we have different teams all around the country that provide this support service and quality to our current clients. And we had such a big investment in the city over the years, and the economical value we have provided, that the Kansas City Town Hall has declared the 23rd of June as the Weber Day.
We will make a note of it, June 23rd, Weber Day in Kansas, United States. So thank you very much for this presentation, David Maldonado. Thank you for being with us today. And well, see you in September at Alimentaria Foodtech.
Thanks to you. Thanks.
This is the end of this technical day of Alimentaria Foodtech. Naturally, we did not want to end it without first thanking in a very special way all the companies that have participated in this session and who have shared these success stories. Well, we hope that you have found it at least as interesting as we found it, and that, well, perhaps you have felt identified with some of the challenges that our companies have presented here today. Remember that this has been just a small sample of what you can find in the next edition of Alimentaria Foodtech, which will take place here in Barcelona from 26 to 29 of September. Now, addressing you, for all those companies that have a particular interest in learning more about this international visitor program that we run, remember that you will have some specific and exclusive benefits at your disposal, such as guided tours, personalized networking sessions, visits to companies and technology centers, a training program, among others. So this, on the one hand, and on the other hand, those companies in the food industry that have already have a project in the pipeline that are looking for specific solutions. Also, they have a VIP visitor program with very special conditions that you can consult, of course, with us. From AMEC and Alimentaria Foodtech, we remain at your disposal for any questions or queries you may have, and you will be able to consult all the information related to these two international programs with the QR that you can see on your screen. So thank you all very much for joining us today. See you next session, and of course at Alimentaria Foodtech 2023. Thank you very much.